Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the cast. Checking in. Dave, what's up, you guys? Any newcomers, any old comers? It doesn't matter what's going on. We're checking in today. And hey, what's up? So, today is going to be simple today, man. I've been thinking all day just about how life is just crazy. Just think about this. We live in a place that floats mid-air. Do you understand how crazy that is? We live on a planet that is submerged around darkness and space, that just is surrounded by stars and infinite void. Tell me that's not crazy to even think about. I got the shower thinking like, hey, how amazingly built creatures we are. Just absolutely perfect. Perfect perfection. And the thing is, how you know it's true is because just nothing like us. No matter what, as long as we've sat there and been here, we have found nothing like us. They can sit there and say that we have done all this hoopla. The truth is, they don't even know where our dreams consist of. So if we don't even know what our dreams consist of, right? How can we know anything about this world? The most thing that we know, we don't even know when everybody will die. We don't even know when so and so is gonna get healthy. We don't know shit. We're still in the dark ages, honestly. It's gonna be people who sit there and they are thousands of years from now, and they're just thinking about how useless and weak we were because we didn't know shit. Just how we look at the people in the past, like the Stone Age and all that other crap, medieval times, and just sit there and just think like how they just don't, they just didn't know anything. They were living like heathens. They were living wrong, right? We're still changing words to this day. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, sit there and think about this. We're on this giant planet, right? Enormous planet that we are so insignificant. It takes us hours and days to get to fun places by walking, okay? Okay? And then on top of that, this place is surrounded by other planets, okay, that we can't even go on because we're so insignificant. And not saying we're insignificant as a human being or a race, just in the void of space and time. It is literally insane how big and how uncomprehendable this world is, this planet is. Like, we're an amazing creatures. Just think this. They used to say, which I think is the most ignorant and ridiculous thing. They say something enormous like dinosaurs were extinct. Something like dinosaurs were extinct. Okay? And then they say that these dinosaurs, these magnificent creatures, turned into birds. Something that could fit in the palm of my hand. Something so enormous and strong could fit in the palm of my hand. So what, next we're going to be extinct and then it's what, it's going to be jellyfish flying around, floating around? Sounds crazy to me. Hopefully it sounds crazy to y'all. But yeah, man, just if you take time to sit there and just think on your own about how big this place is, look at these trees behind me. Look how enormous they are. Think about how long they've been here. It's just, it's mesmerizing. It's just brilliant. And to understand is that, like, yo, we're only here once. You gotta sit there and live this life to the fullest. Everything we've been taught about this life is so fake and so goofy. It's just where they're trying to hold us back and control the Muppets. I mean, you gotta live this life to the fullest. You gotta enjoy it. You gotta have fun. Because you only get one. You seriously only get one of these lives. You'll be a fool to sit there and just waste it. I can just imagine people in their 90s. I think of my grandmother who's in her 90s, right? My grandmother who's in her 90s. Okay? Still alive to this day. And she did things to pave way for her family. She did. Okay? But in her time, her life was just get married, have a family, be a family. And that's in her entire life. I can see it. It's weird how I could see the entire timeline in front of my face, but I wasn't there for the entire time. But I remember how it was when I was there, when I came to the earth and I was with her. So obviously something that I'm sitting there saying is speaking some kind of the truth. And the more we sit there and just live this baseless life, meaning that we sit there and just do mediocre things, we stay in mediocre places, we don't try different things, we're gonna sit there and succumb to the elements. A shark will sit there and swim all over the ocean because it doesn't know any better. It doesn't know that there might be nicer beaches over here. It might be a little tepid. It might be hard for me to sit there and get through it. I might sit there and almost die. But if I go to this other place, it's bountiful. You're trapped in this one ocean because you don't sit there and know we don't migrate out the ocean. Never done it before. And it's funny because that's how you see some animals that aren't indigenous to the place that they are. They've actually lived. They've seen different things, and they don't even know it. They create a different foots in the ground, and they may not even know it. Or do they just die because they can't mate with other animals, or do you think they crossbreed? It's a good question. I mean, would you crossbreed when you try other things? I mean, as human beings, we do it. We definitely do it, where we sit there and we will switch over to different species, right? I'm sorry, not different species, but different races. We crossbreed all the time, and we're all from different places. So why wouldn't the animals do it, right? Think about that. Why would they not do it if we do it? Because people say they don't. That just doesn't make any sense. Life never stops moving, and I truly believe that. So I've got my rant out, guys. This weekend we're gonna have a good time. But today we're gonna sit there and get into some stuff. We're gonna do Manly Mondays. So just checking in with you guys. Hope you're doing okay. Hope that you guys are actually taking care of yourself. I mean, if you're not taking care of yourself and not caring about yourself, who else? I mean, I care about you. I do. I don't care if it's just, like I said, I always say it's all the time. I don't care if it's just four of us. Still care about you. Still love you. I just hope that we can get through things and sit there and just start to live our lives and stop being so scared of living our lives. We got nothing but time and energy, players. Nothing but time and energy, players. It's going to be a while before we start getting to the point where we're old and we can't do anything. So let's do this now and have a good time because we can. And that just goes for everybody, even the ladies. Like, yo, live, enjoy it, do what you do, right? I really mean that. I mean, I just think that we all deserve it. And we've been taught this way, just be controlled. Remember doing 9/11 and they had all those anthrax scares, 9/18 and all that other crap, and they did everything. They tried to scare us, and then they forced us into a war for 20 years, and it just got nothing. Just think about that. That was a waste of time. It was an entire waste of time of people's lives and time. And the thing is, the ones who sit there and benefited from it, right? It's like the same thing as they've always been. They put a small price on life, and then they benefit from that. Even though they don't want to sit there and strap up one time and won't go out on anything, but they benefit from that. They make money. The same thing that we've all sit there and focus our aspirations to is making money. And it's just like, it's just nuts. Anyway, let's get into some Reddit questions because I don't want to make this just a grim, disturbing piece today. I just think that sometimes we just need to think. And I think thinking will lead to living. And if it doesn't lead to living, it's going to lead to questions. It's going to lead to questions. So, Buddy says, this is athlete sensitive 1302. A second here while I reply that. But yeah, he asks us, physically unattractive guys with high earning careers. How's the dating scene like for you? I have a lot of friends who have money, right? And they're not the best lookers, but they can do different things in their lives. They can go different places. They can experience different things. They can meet different people. And by doing so, right, by doing these different things, it allows them to meet different people, to date different people. And it boosts them up. They can go out and have more fun. Their life looks better. I mean, they're fun. And if you have to understand, a lot of girls aren't in it for looks. They were in it for their future. As species, we're in it to sit there and prolong ourselves. These girls are trying to do anything to the best they can to sit there and get to the where they can, just like men will too. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But at the same time, like, so, guys, let's sit there and talk about it. Um, Shop Register says that he managed. His money wasn't great. I mean, I managed, wasn't great, but money helps. And yeah, I mean, I'm definitely sorry if you guys feel like that you aren't all good looking guys. All right. I really am sorry that. I mean, it does suck. But I know for a fact that you benefit from that money. I mean, most of you guys don't even sit there and even waste time on meeting women. You'll sit there and go pay for it to go do it. My buddy does it all the time. A lot of times I sit there and ask him, like, yo, how are you meeting these girls? And how are you getting all these girls out of this? And I didn't realize it until he kind of just came out and told me the truth once. And he told me that he was paying for them. He'll just pay for them. He makes so much money, he'll just pay for them. He'll just pay for them. Procrastination 1993 says, I'm poor. And from what I've been told from the women I've gotten, I'm very attractive and also in amazing shape in my entire life. Even though I'm poor, most women don't care. Good personality, good looks with a lot of hobby, but also very poor because bad marriage. I make okay money, 30 an hour is considered, that is. Most of my peers make 20 or less, even with college degrees. But I still trade my looks for being wealthy. I wouldn't, because money's not everything. It's absolutely not everything. I would not trade my looks for being wealthy. I think being poor and struggling for most of my life gets exhausting. But at the same time, I mean, buddy, that's what we're here for. Resiliency makes us better. Just does you want to take it the easy way, and I'm sorry that you want everything the easy way. Life has been monetized, and we don't need to monetize our lives. We have to sit there and learn to just live our lives. You can't monetize your life with procrastination. You can't sit there and monetize your looks. You want, and I get that the world does that, but you would rather sit there and sell your looks for money. He said he doesn't want to. He said he doesn't want to struggle, not to worry about rent and struggle for food for once. I feel you, bro. I've done it my entire life. It would be nice. It would be nice. It really would be nice. Like, it is nice. And there's been times where I haven't had to struggle for food. And to know how it is when I struggle for food and then when I know how it is when I don't struggle for food, it definitely is a huge difference. So having that extra money to sit there and not struggle for food, it is nice. So I definitely understand. I said the last time I took my family on vacation 3 years ago when things were good. I feel you on that, buddy. I mean, my whole aspiration is to sit there and take them on vacation. But the thing is, just do certain things at a time. You have your entire life to go on vacation. Don't sit there and stress it out as a tool. 3 years. So look, let's say if you do this. Let's say you just did that vacation 3 years ago, right? 3 years ago. Now you got one coming up in the next 1 to 2 years. So that means you do a vacation with your family every 5 years, right? Why is that an issue? Because you want to go every year? Because the other people get to go every year? I mean, I feel you, buddy. But at the same time, you just need to be happy with what you got, and you're gonna get what you put in. And you gotta understand the setting blocks you use now is gonna be what's the setting blocks in their lives. So at the same time, that's all this shit is. Salmon sit there and some string, and they'll mate and they'll die. We get the chance to sit there and mate and have a good time and enjoy the fruits of our labor. We really do. And we don't appreciate that because we want to sit there and have the house on the beach with the see-through windows, fast car, supermodel wife, all the nonsense, flying, disposable money. Yeah, we do. It'd be nice. He says, I think most of my marriage problems truly fucked up from money related. My wife is very mentally ill after 2 years of struggling and legit being on the verge of homeless with our children. She has snapped and ran away and did awful things I doubt I'll ever recover from. If I lost my looks, I don't think she would ever care. Huh? I don't think she would ever care. And if we had money right now, I'd still have my wife. But you can't think like that because you're like kind of, and it's funny because you're doing that thing where they call bargaining. You're bargaining. You're willing to bargain. You feel like if you didn't have those looks and had the money, then yeah, things would be different. That's not the case. She's gonna leave no matter what. Even if you had the money, you're still you. See, which I know sounds crazy, but she's borderline personality disorder and a few others. She can barely handle any stress, and it was too much for her. Money can fix a lot of problems. Not having it causes a lot. Everybody says the same thing, and it is true. But it's weird because people who sit there and say money, if they have money, they have more problems. I think my problems are simple. Our problems are simple. I can write my problems down on a piece of paper, to be honest, and not sit there and go too far off the paper. And I know yours is probably the same exact thing. Straight up truth. I'd rather have money, and even if it meant I was butt ugly, I can give my family a much better life. See what anybody else has to say about that. For a married man, yeah, money is better, but I think it's OP wondering about single people. You didn't even say anything. Anyway, let's go to the next person here. Death Explosion says, interesting enough, if you don't pay hookers, they never leave. They just hang out for unemployed friend watching your TV eating your food. That's fucking crazy. That's a good one to think about. He said he'd be paying them to leave. Because buddy, there's a guy who sits there and says this. He has two buddies, Chip Ham's good, says he has two buddies from college. Very ugly by their both admission. They are both very wealthy, like multimillionaires, several times over. Neither of them dates, both use prostitutes. One of them, the one gets five at a time, neither wants kids. One says I really pay them to leave. Without money, none of them will look twice, and they know it. That's the truth. That's the truth. But at the same time, it's just risky business. Because you gotta understand, those prostitutes be wanting you to sit there and get them pregnant too. You may not understand that, but if you're a come up, if you got that, there's so many problems with having so much money. Everybody thinks that it's less problems, and it's not less problems at all. Absolutely not. All right. Anyway, someone else says this is Eskimo pie. Yeah, I have a very good male friend of mine who's very wealthy and has a circle of very wealthy friends. Also, mainly go to sex work, from what I gather. All those guys, including my friend, are low key, always looking and hoping for a relationship with regular women. But they are tired of women pretending they love them and know they're being used for their money. Jeez. A lot of people sit there and say it's even cheaper to sit there and deal with prostitutes. It's cheaper. Um, it's cheaper. It's just less stress. People say that. That's a weird part of living. That is, sex is even monetized, but sex has always been monetized. Um, yeah. North Korea can't hack me says this. According to my internet, my net worth puts me at 10% of my age bracket, 25 to 30% of men. And my licks are a solid. At least you kept it real, brother. My looks are a solid 5.73. Underneath the perfect lighting in that one bathroom mirror. No dates. Turn out you still probably need to talk to women to go on dates. Waiting for one to show up at my door hasn't worked so far. I've started working out, going to therapy. I'll follow up in a few years. But you just gotta sit there and go shoot your shots, buddy. Go shoot your shots, buddy. And then you'll get started getting those ladies. I don't care what you sit there and say. Like straight up truth, man. I just think that straight up, I think the dating men who are ugly, right? When it comes to dating, it's still going to be hard for them because you still have to go talk to these ladies. You can get on one of those sugar daddy sites and stuff like that. I've seen guys do that. They get ladies, but they're getting ladies all for the money. I'm not getting ladies for my money. I don't have any money, so I'm not getting ladies for my money. Next question. Someone asks if women disappear from there for 24 hours, what would you do? I would sit there and be stressed out and just wonder where the hell are they at. I would also want that 24 hours to sit there and go as fast as possible. There's no reason why we want to live without ladies. I love ladies way too much. I think the ladies are the best thing that God has ever invented, created. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to go through that 24 hours, not even for a few hours. It just doesn't make any sense. I want to see ladies everywhere I go. I just wouldn't make any sense. Signal failure 0270 says, "What is your biggest regret in marriage? Did you pick up your wife on a Oh, jeez. Did you pick up your wife based on personality or sexual attraction? A friend who married a woman based on sex only. Then when sex slows and there's nothing else to hold them together in marriage. And then having another friend who married the nicest woman there is until the weekend he dropped that they're getting a divorce. Little did I know that it had a dead bedroom for the long time. Life is hard. See, one person says not leaving after being in a dead bedroom for over a decade. That sucks. Someone asks, "Did you finally leave? Hope you're okay." And how did you overcome your dead bedroom situation? Was it physical health or what changed it finally worked? Whew, whew. Man, my biggest one was the fact that just like mine was attraction because you know what? It's not even attraction. It has to be a balance. It can't. It's more than one. Because you can sit there and not be attracted to someone to somebody, but you have this vibe with them, and y'all vibe so much, and you love that person so much off your vibe. Your physical attraction can be different, right? So I think that sexual attraction is just very, very, very important. One person says, he didn't divorce her sooner. Domestic violence was can come from women. That shit was terrifying. Yeah, you can deal with these ladies that are crazy and like who just do weird shit like that, explosive stuff. Um, Further in depth, he says he was getting punched in the back of the head sometimes when he walked away. He said it wasn't fun either. Neither was screaming or getting locked or locking yourself in a bedroom or getting locked yourself in a bedroom with a dresser against the door as she throws herself against it, screaming how she's going to murder you. When we split, she told everybody I was gay. Thankfully, a lot of people just laughed. Her crazy ass, glad you got out, but it's a scary situation to be in. Yeah, man. It sounds crazy, brother. That sounds absolutely crazy, man. Explanation. I'm not sure what this one is, but he says, I saw my wife play kickball in the in a field as I back in a field as I drove back in college. She was pitching and I saw her ass and almost wrecked. I looked at my buddy next to me. He told me he was going to marry her. That was like 15 years ago. Now we are best friends and we almost do everything together. When time lets us, she's never been more sexier. We've we've had a dead bedroom for a few years. Life was hard on both of us, but mostly her. Going through a lot, letting it get to her. Like I said, we were BFFs in the bedroom, and bedroom was just a bonus. But it made us talk about work through issues. Jeez, but sorry guys, I'm definitely sorry y'all go through those dead bedroom issues. But I think once you go through that, if you guys can talk about it, where I've been there with this stuff, where it's just like you can notice it happening, right? You can always see the flow of things, the flow and the vibe of things. And when it happens, it's like it will go down to the point where one person will realize it and try to pick it up. And if the other person or both people don't even try to pick it up, it just completely fizzles. But if one person picks it up, they can start to work the motor to fix it back together. But if you don't, then it just dies out. It dies out. And I was trying to be that one who's trying to bring stuff back and control life and make things better. But at the same time, you can't even do that. Some other person, it has to be, it takes two to work. Otherwise, it's too awkward. Otherwise, it's too awkward. I remember dating this girl, and we broke up. We broke up for maybe 6 months. And when we got back together, right? When we got back together, she told me, like, I remember when I seen her, the first thing I did was just loved on her, hugged her, tried to kiss her, do the usual things because I'm a loving person, right? And I remember her telling me to just chill, take it easy, because she was already moving on. And a lot of girls can do that. She was already moving on. When we start getting back together, stuff like that, but at the same time, it happens fast. Um, Lethal Bacon, male, 32-ish. My wife and I lived in 100 feet apart, 2 years during college. We didn't meet until 5 years later in another city. So yeah. I wish we would have met in college during class. We had a blast. That sucks. I'll give me 1 second here. Let's find somebody else. But yeah, I just think the biggest regret in your marriage is honestly just going to sit there and just not fixing things sooner, not being better. One person is always going to sit there and feel like they could have been better. They could have been better to the other person. And what I just think it just teaches you. The regret is going to be time spent wasting time. Here we go. Apathic Styinetis. Essentially, yes. I've been married for 20 years. We really solidified as a team, but it took a lot of work to accomplish. My wife was the only child who was never told no. Early on in our marriage, any disagreement was met with defensiveness. Why are you angry at me? When all I wanted to do was discuss something or express my critique to her or whatever. Constructive criticism, disagreement, something she simply just never learned to take part in. People can people can be really nice and friendly, but if you don't know how to handle the social situation, it's explicit, nice and friendly. It doesn't even sound fun, buddy, what you're sitting there talking about. Like, it sounds like you had to sit there and kind of mold her, which I think we all do mold our relationship partner, but at the same time, you say 20 years and a lot of work and stuff like that. I mean, relationships is work, but it sounds stressful, man. It sounds really stressful, buddy. It sounds really stressful. Here's Sweet and the Smell Sweet says, my ex and I never fought. I thought it was a good thing. Turns out he was holding it in and was hitting me and blindsided me with a breakup, all because he didn't like conflict. Shame because I was very receptive to feedback. I think that's what we all can do. I think that's what we all can do. It's just like be open to feedback, learn from our problems, and sit there and grow from our mistakes and our time, stuff like that. And we'll be good. Um, Nud Bunkler says, failing to recognize how quickly she would abandon sex. I live in I lived in a sexless relationship for 40 years, thinking it was better for the children. My brother told me years ago, kids adapt to any situation. He was crying. Now I'm spared now. We live separately, but it sucks. I'm sorry, buddy. Sorry you took that long to figure it out. I'm sorry you took that long to figure it out because at the same time you feel like that, like yeah, I want to do it for the kids. But at the same time, you gotta sit there and just take the initiative to be like, the kids will be okay. This is like my last one. I'm about to get out of here. AG3199 says dead bedroom for decades. When I eventually cheated, no excuses. I was ready to be gone by then. We divorced my kids in their 20s. Geez, you stayed in there for 20 years. Said it was fully expected. They didn't know why it took so long to figure out that we weren't good parenting. Whether or not I'll ever find someone else in the future, I'm happier alone with my cats than I'd ever be with their mom. Um, things I things I wish someone told me 20 years ago but you'll try to keep it together until then. And yeah, man, I just think that you guys got to sit there and just listen to the others because they could know before us and take the advice more than just a grain of salt. Take it with a load of salt and start to understand what other people feel. because they were just here not too long ago. Time is fast. It's already about to be Christmas already. Buddy told me at the beginning of the summer, he said it's already about to be Christmas. And yeah, it's already about to be September. So I'll check in with y'all tomorrow. Many Mondays. Take care of yourself. Take those shots. Make sure you're talking to those ladies, guys. I love y'all. Take it easy.